First, let's start with the settings. Let's go to video mode, click on the video icon in the down panel. Once there, you have many options to choose from. Stats, resolution, auto manual, ISO, EV white balance, aperture, white balance, log. The first setting you have here is the resolution settings. So you only have these settings available to you on the general video mode. You also have the option to choose between auto and manual, depending on what you need for the situation. On manual, you have control over the aperture and the ISO, so that you can tailor it to your certain position. Next is white balance. When set to automatic, the camera will automatically choose the best white balance for the situation. Other than that, you have 4 settings, being iridescent, cloudy, sunny, and fluorescent, all giving your image a different look. On auto, you do not have the option to change the aperture, just the ISO and the EV balance. EV balance just makes the image brighter or darker. Next mode is bullet time. Of course, you have auto and manual options. On the auto, you have control over ISO, the EV, and the white balance. When in manual, you have the options and toggles to go between the aperture and the ISO as well. Here's bullet time in action. Notice as the camera is always pointed at the subjects. This is because when it's in bullet time, the camera always points down. In time-lapse mode, your first option with the clock allows you to change how fast you want the time-lapse to go, being 1 times the speed, 120 times the speed. When in ISO priority, you're able to change the ISO and the camera will automatically change the aperture. When in manual, like the others, you have the option to change the ISO and the aperture. Here's the time lapse in action. It's important that you point the side of the camera at the brightest point of the scene. If not, you could end up with a stitch line going through your image, just like this video here. Lastly, in HDR mode, you're limited to only using the EV balance and the white balance in the settings panel. Here's a good example of the difference between a normal video and an HDR video. You're probably wondering how to create the hyperlapse effect, since there's no mode for it in the app. Take a normal video and then in the editing panel, use time mapping to speed up the video.